I'm going to break down the punt return by Shaheed, which is kind of a mixture of some wall punt return concepts, but really a unique pre-snap alignment by these two defenders here. Shaheed's obviously been a revelation here recently as a special teams return guy. As a wide receiver, really everything. Again, I would advocate for him to be locked up, or given an extension soon, but I understand that the price tag just keeps going up. It's a unique alignment. Normally, the second defender is going to be up on the line of scrimmage to deal with both gunners in an obvious obvious punting situation, this being a 4th and 6. I've seen this before, but these guys not normally be so deep. I think obviously they're presenting a light box here, and it looks pre-snap like you've got outside alignment from both of these guys trying to funnel the gunners in to each of these defenders. It makes sense, right? But I don't actually think that's the case with both of them. The downside guy actually goes to inside leverage, and I think that's important. And again, I haven't read or heard anything about the design here, but this appears to be a left return for me by design for the Seahawks. Not necessarily a wall, but with this guy taking inside leverage and then the second defender reacting to his angle or his read versus I believe this guy up here is intentionally trying to wall this player out such that once Shaheed catches it, he can run to his left or the bottom side of our screen. Hopefully I said that in a way that makes sense. You can see that you've functionally got a double team that occurs later down the field against the bottom side gunner. And so it shouldn't surprise us that that's where Shaheed goes to, at least off the snap or off the catch. All of these players have taken leverage to the downside of our screen, indicating to me that we've got a left return. It's where I say there's, pseudo or somewhat similar to a wall concept where you take the wall to the ball or take the ball to the wall, however you want to phrase it or teach it. You really couldn't find a better situation for Shaheed to catch the ball here with no one near him. He's catching the ball back on the -42, and this gunner is like 12 to 14 yards away. Everyone else even further, so he's bringing it down to the bottom side. At this point, you knew that you had a big return. This will be a guy that we'll track back here in a moment. That's why I've got that mark there. But look at the orientation of all of these defenders, or all of these potential blockers for the Seahawks. They're all oriented to this side, which is where Shaheed ends up taking it. My suspicion is that this is designed to be a left return. Once you got it this far, first of all, you knew that the punter was not going to have an impact at all. That's the punter right there. The only guy that had to be made to miss is right here, and we'll track him back a little bit. I think it's the fullback for the Seahawks, kind of loses leverage, perhaps. We're talking about right here. And it's Shaheed's speed. Very similar to what I talked about, his kickoff return, 100-yard kickoff return to open the third quarter against the Falcons. His speed is what allows him to get past these defenders, these gaps that would be closing if he was slower or not as fast. Then the gap would close sooner, and he potentially wouldn't be able to bust this all the way. It's a beautiful illustration, if you ask me, of special teams having a huge impact. Apparently the Rams fired their special teams coordinator earlier Saturday morning.